Any conversation about motivation, about achieving our dreams and our goals has to start from this one fundamental truth, that life is short and we shouldn't waste it. We are all given this one life. We're all given 24 hours every day. Whether you are a powerful politician, a billionaire, or a peasant from the countryside, we have the same amount of time in which to live our lives. And we need to have this either in our subconscious or be something that we're thinking about moment to moment as we go through our day, because we need to make sure that we are living a life that is meaningful and that feels meaningful to us. That every day that is spent was spent doing something meaningful, whether that means enjoying your work, whether that means taking care of your family, whether that means engaging in any type of activity that you want. If you find yourself in a life where you're just surviving, you're just getting through the day, obviously that's not fulfilling. Obviously it's not what we want. Most people's lives are actually spent this way, and increasingly research is showing higher and higher levels of dissatisfaction, stress, anxiety, etc. So we need to start from a place of understanding that this life is not guaranteed to us, right? People die in car crashes every day. People are getting cancer. We don't know how long we're going to live. So if we put off living until some future, rose-tinted future when we, will have enough money, maybe someday we'll retire, someday I'll do this, someday I'll do that, that is not going to give us what we want. So this doesn't mean that we don't care about money and we don't care about managing our health and we, just spend all of our money and do whatever we want because tomorrow's not guaranteed. That would be irresponsible and won't give us what we want in the long term, right? So what we're talking about is living with a sense of urgency so that we can develop the habits that will give us what we want in the long term while living with meaning and purpose and being fulfilled. And of course, that's what this course is all about. And it's all based on this attitude, this realization as a starting point. So I think a good thing to do is, if you can manage it, every morning when you wake up, whether you're taking a shower or brushing your teeth or having your coffee, think about today being a gift. Think about how you choose to spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you're doing with your life. If you find yourself doing things, living in a way that is not what you truly want, well, maybe you can't just snap your fingers and change everything right away, right? Most of us can't do that, but no matter how difficult your current situation might be, in the long term, if we have faith in our ability to change our life over time, there is basically no situation at all that cannot be overcome in the long term. And in this course, we're going to look at a lot of examples of a lot of people that have situations that I can almost guarantee you are harder than yours. No matter who you are listening to this right now, there are people that have been born in more difficult circumstances than you and I. And not only did they overcome it, but they basically lived the life of their dreams eventually, because they believed that it was worth it to get up every day and work towards it. They believed that they deserved to live that life. They believed in their ability to do it. And because of that belief, they actually did do it. Sometimes that might have taken 20 years or more. In some cases, it's unbelievable how quickly we can get on the road towards living the life of our dreams once we actually commit to take actions every day that are on that path. It's amazing. And I'm going to try not to tell too much about my personal story in this course because I don't want it to be about me, but I do have some pretty good examples of how these principles have profoundly changed my life and continue to do so today. And it's just another testament to the fact that these are laws. They're laws of psychology. They're laws of the human spirit. And there are things that we can learn, ways of thinking, ways of being that will fundamentally shake the root of our life to the core in the way that we want and need in order to rouse ourselves from the lethargy that most people in modern society are now feeling and don't know how to escape from. Okay? We get to choose what to do with the time that we have. Only you can choose what to do with your life. If you're letting other people, whether it be your parents, your friends, your colleagues, or just the general culture, dictate who you are, who you think you should be, and what you need to be doing and thinking with your time, well, that's not going to lead to a satisfying life. It might lead to a life where you can get by, you feel okay, you have some people that you consider to be your friends, and you have a job, and maybe you live sort of a mediocre, okay life, and you get by. That's what most people are doing. But is that good enough? When you look back over your life from your deathbed, are you going to be satisfied with your decisions, with the way you spent your life? Are you going to have any regrets? For most of us, if we continue to live the way that we're living right now, we probably have a lot of regrets. And there are tons of examples of people who have reported on their deathbeds a thing they regret. And a lot of those regrets are the same. We're going to look at that throughout the course, but just to give a couple of examples, people regret not spending more time with their loved ones. People regret not taking bigger risks to do the things that they really, in their heart, wanted to do, but thought, well, it's not practical, it's not possible, what if I fail? When you're looking back over your life from the end, you're going to look at those risks and with laughter. What was the worst thing that could have happened to you? Oh, I lost some money. Oh, I had to start again from the age of 30 or 40 or 50. Or, you were afraid of criticism, and which is, that's the worst one of all, being afraid of criticism, because it's afraid of something that's not even real, what people might think about you, what people will say about you, and that has no effect on your actual life. And that's something we're going to focus on quite a bit in this course, because the fear of criticism has been one of the worst and most powerful things that hold people back from living the life that they want. And we're going to need to overcome that if we want to really seize the day like we need to do. What we want is the experience of being alive. We want to feel alive every day of our lives. Now, that doesn't mean that we have to be cheerful and happy in every single second, and that, our life is just this amazing, blissful, series of moments every single second. But in general, we should be on a trajectory where we have more and more meaningful experiences, where the work we're doing, the friends we have, the relationships we're building are going in the direction that we want. And just like with learning anything else, we learn how to do this. We slowly put the pieces in place. And while we do want to start today, right now, from the moment you're listening to this, we also don't want to be in a rush, because we realize that while life is short, things do take time to put in place. So a lot of people will give up because they feel like it's not working for them, it's too difficult, it's taking too long. And you'll see that most of the successful people in life, they were the ones that stuck it out and believed through thick and thin, and they kept going no matter what. So there's a little bit of a paradox here, where we need to have a sense of urgency. Life is short. Don't waste it. Start today. Do what you have to do. But once you start on that path, you need to realize that there's going to be some sacrifices. There's going to be some time that's going to have to pass, and not everything's going to happen all at once. So I hope that sort of sets the stage for you. You kind of understand where we're starting from here. But I want you to really take a few minutes after you're done listening to this lecture to think about the fact that, your life is partially over. I'm 32 years old. That means my life is more than likely at least a third of the way over. I only have 2/3 of my life left in which to live. Most of our childhood is spent just learning basic things in school, trying to figure out who we are, basically doing what we're told to by our parents and peers and teachers. And now that we become an adult, and we actually have hopefully the freedom to start to choose who we want to be, where we want to live, who we want to love. A lot of time has passed before most of us ever get there, if we ever do, to a point where we're truly living the life that we have chosen, and one that has not been chosen for us. And with that, we're going to move on to the next lecture, focusing on how to live life without excuses. And you'll notice that I have sprinkled some visualization exercises throughout the course. I don't want to have one after each lecture. I want it to be put sporadically throughout the course. So at the appropriate time, after we've had a particularly good lesson about a specific thing, we will have that accompanied by a visualization. So some of this course will be these lectures, and some of it will be exercises that you need to do on your own in order to hopefully spur the feelings within you that you need that will lead to the action that we want to see.